we packed that bag and we, set off on, I guess, our 6-month adventure.
In those 6 months, we didn't just survive, but we thrived. Out there, it's like, no, every food is a gift. You wouldn't believe, even the name Superfoodio, it's not by chance, really, because what you put into your body is what you can get out of it. How did you get your product stocked in Selfridges? How did you do that?
This week, we're launching them into 650 Tesco stores.
Wow. It was less than a year ago that this was just a kitchen sample.
Hey squad, quick side note, we know that more than 80% of you are not subscribed. The more people who subscribe, the more content we can create for you. And the happier we'll be here. Hey gang, in today's episode, we've got the founders of Superfoodio. You'll find their products in Tesco stores all around the country. But where did it all begin? Join us as we run through their journey from corporate, South America backpacking, kitchen table, and now one of the fastest growing snack brands in the UK. So join us as we talk through this story and get a little bite of inspiration. I think you'll love this one. Let's go. Hey squad.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to Upside. It's an honor to have you guys on the show. Literally an honor because I see you guys everywhere, all over social media.
Yeah, it's true.
Always bright, smiley faces.
Uh-huh.
And now you're here with us in the studio. What we want to kind of do is just talk through the journey, the challenges, and your advice for other brands looking to launch out. So, team, the founders of Superfoodio, how did the journey begin? This is the origin story question that you probably always get asked. But what happened? Tell us what made you decide this is the challenge I want to, or the mountain I want to climb.
I think firstly, we didn't know it was a mountain we were climbing.
Just evolve it.
Yeah. But it actually started. So we decided to press pause on our corporate lives. So we both had our corporate jobs and we were like, let's press pause. We want to go traveling. One place neither of us had been to was South America. So we mapped out this 6-month itinerary. We were like, we're going to start with Argentina. We'll go to Brazil, Bolivia, Peru. And Jag was quite keen to do the Inca Trail at the end. Nice. So that was our sort of like end goal. I guess we had our bag full of hiking shoes and clothes and all the rest, but also we had a bag full of emergency snacks. And the reason for that was because we were both vegetarian, plant-based. We always have been.
I thought it was cool. You're OG.
Yeah, we've been brought up that way. So we were just like, our first stop's Argentina. That's known as steak country. Yeah. So what are we going to eat for 6 months? We're starting to get worried about that. Yeah. So we packed this bag of like, just in case, like kind of camping food, like if we don't get anything else. Yeah, trail mix, stuff like that. So we packed that bag and we, set off on, I guess, our 6-month adventure. But actually what we found was by the virtue of being out there for so long, we immersed ourselves with the local people and we did homestays, helped people with farming. We did quinoa farming, we did potato farming.
Wow. Legit.
So we really immersed ourselves. We were out there for so long and we really got to understand and see, I guess, a different side to food and how it's grown, where it comes from. And that really opened our eyes. And I think stepping away from the busy London 9-to-5 sparked, I guess, the idea for Superfoodio, or what is now Superfoodio.
Yeah, I still remember the bus journey from Bolivia to Peru. It was a 21-hour bus journey. So this was coming at the tail end of our travels, and we were writing notes about, reflecting back on, what we've learned, what we really enjoyed. And pretty much every second line was all about this incredible food that we tried, whether it was the acai berry, before it was a 20-pound bowl in London. We ate it like as the Amazon. Yeah, exactly. So where it's natural, it's fresh, it's like served to you literally as it's picked up from and served up. So it was incredible. And what we were writing down was like, love this, love that. Can't believe we had like, quinoa puffs for breakfast and XYZ. That's when it kind of hit to us saying, isn't it incredible that we packed all these snacks and foods that we thought we'd be having because we just had to survive. In fact, in those 6 months, we didn't just survive, but we thrived. We're in the best health that we'd been in our whole life.
You found that?
While being super active, they're legit trails.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. So we would doing some hard walks, and I think we were like walking like 6 to 10 kilometers a day at minimum. Fuel was really, really important. And that's where you can't just eat pizzas and pastas. Not that they were available out there. People don't have that kind of processed food out in the middle of nowhere, basically. And that's where we kind of said, look, I still remember this phrase, which stays true to us. It's kind of become our North Star, which is, it's all about getting back to the basics of food.
I love that.
And you wouldn't believe, even the name Superfoodio, it's not by chance, really. It is kind of, as we spoke about the local people, they treat every food that is grown out there as a gift from the earth. And even the way they serve it, they eat it, it's about nourishing and being grateful for it. And so they see, in the West, there's a concept of a superfood, like a berry that grows in the jungle that's going to, make your skin glow, or, X, Y, Z. But out there, it's like, no, every food is a gift. And we should give it the respect it deserves. That sort of inspired us to kind of say, yes, that's so true. So the word superfood and the IO at the end of the brand name is from my tech background, which means input and output. So it kind of clicks really well together, because what you put into your body is what you can get out of it.
I never realized that's where
I don't think a lot of
that's so
Yeah, so that's how the name even Superfoodio came to be.
I love that. That's awesome.
Even to date, all these years in, we kind of say, when we're trying to think of an idea or an ingredient or an NPD or just even a business decision, we just have to look back and kind of go, is this Superfoodio?
Does it fit?
That's the simple question we ask. And whether it meets our ethos or not, there's no big books or sort of rules or guidelines or any kind of, hard books that we follow to kind of say, is this real or not? Is this Superfoodio? That's the simple question we ask.
Nice. Then cut to, so you're out there having this amazing adventure, discovering great foods, and having this almost kind of like reawakening when it comes to food. Come back to London. What happens? So you're like, cool, all right, straight to these amazing nuggets. Yeah, what happened then? So you came back, and then you're like, cool, we're going to create this business.
Yeah. So the idea was always to come and try and do something. But you know how it is, like you have so much inspiration after this trip, you're unplugged, you're like pumped, but you come back and you go, actually, I don't know the first thing about food or drink. We're outsiders. My background, as I mentioned, is from the tech world. Nirali's from corporate psychology. So we don't really know food and drink in that sense, but we know quality, we know ethos, and we know the difference it made to us and how it made us feel good. We're like, maybe there's something around that idea of helping people discover foods that make them feel their best.
Yeah.
And that's sort of where our idea came up, saying, actually, imagine it was every month was your birthday and a gift box showed up to your doorstep.
Yeah.
Full of the latest and best quality health and wellness products, from breakfast, drinks, desserts, even food recipes delivered to your doorstep every month. And this is from like challenger brands who are trying to break through this.
So you're going to try and bring brands together, put them in parcels and send them out to customers.
Correct. Yeah. So we kind of said it was like a healthy handshake. Yeah. Brands get connected with customers they would have never come across, and customers get to discover brands they would have never seen. And that was all done on the platform that is Superfoodio. And we kind of started that as our 5 to 9.
Yeah.
Because we already had an 9 to 5.
Right.
Yeah.
Went back to work and kind of had this idea and started chipping away at this. Our living room's full of all these incredible products that we curated into boxes, got our family and friends involved to start pack them, and then ship them out to incredible customers who started coming onto superfoodio.com and subscribing to our subscription boxes.
I think it's really interesting, right? Because you say you're 5 to 9. Now, a lot of people think of a side hustle. Side hustle, generally, when they're thinking it's a 4-hour work week, it's a few hours extra on top of what they're doing. But the reality of that, how many extra hours? Are we talking like another 8-hour shift after your first 8-hour shift?
I'd say so.
Yeah, and obviously it would like go into the weekends as well. And I think we started becoming like very consumed with, because obviously it was exciting. We were launching a new business and discovering new brands. And, you know, when we'd see our friends and things, that's what they wanted. You know, they were excited to give us feedback. They were like, oh, what's in your latest box? Like, I'll try it. I'll give you feedback, or, you know, kind of help us shape the journey. So yeah, it became like almost like a second full-time job in a way for us.
And it was more than just the products and that part of that service. We got to learn about food and drink because we were out there sort of at farmers markets and meeting these incredible founders who have such passion about the food and drink that they're creating, you know, moms and pops businesses, everyone making handmade granola and selling at local markets. But then we were kind of opening up through the subscription boxes, their customer base all across the UK.
I've heard you speaking about this, and what was really interesting, I thought, was you were actually able to give data back to those brands, right?
Correct. So that was, again, I guess, from my tech background and us learning about the entire system. Everything's about feedback. You know, you learn from data and insights. So we're like, what happens if we built this sort of model where every month we would send a survey out to hundreds of customers who've tried a brand or product for the first time, ask them a few key questions that the brands want to learn about and hear from their customers. And basically would share that data back to the brands free of charge, saying, here's what 400, 500 people this month have said about your product. I guess for us, it was really fulfilling because we were helping that brand owner level up their game. You know, yes, sometimes you get compliments and that's always great to hear, but sometimes you want to hear the hard truths. Something that could help you pivot, or, you know, whether it's packaging or wording or even a flavor idea. Customers gave the most incredible insight that just helped that brand owner supercharge their sort of next step.
So then how did you make that jump? So from sharing other people's products to creating your own, what made you think, okay, actually, I want to have a go at this?
So in the initial days, we did a couple of trade shows, and at one particular trade show, we met the Selfridges buyer.
Right.
So he just, you know, came past our stand and was like, you know, we explained what we do. We said we're online, and he was like, I really like what you're doing. We're launching a healthy kind of campaign in store in the food hall. Can you bring this to life in retail? And we were like, yeah, of course. So we went away, and what we did was, because the data that we were gathering, we started learning what customers were looking for, like which products were working. You know, did people prefer sweet, or did they prefer savory, or was it a mix of both? So we handpicked a few select suppliers that we were working with. We knew the products were popular. We'd chosen them different flavors to be in our boxes, and pulled that together in like a retail box to go into Selfridges for this campaign.
So I'm curious here, right? So you get requested by Selfridges to come into their food hall. Did you at this point in time actually realize how unique that was?
No. I had never been into Selfridges before that. So that was a bit of a pinch yourself moment, because I think it's only after we launch and we're doing in-store sampling, like Nirali, we're out there like saying, hey, we've launched this product. Do you want to have a try of these, clusters, or do you want to have a try of this cracker, etc.? And getting that feedback from people, did we start getting people come up to us saying, how did you get your product stocked in Selfridges? How did you do that? What does it take? I'm like, don't know. If I tell you this, you'll be as surprised as we are looking back, because we were approached by the buyer to bring this to life in a retail.
So many brands are queuing up for that. Yeah,
absolutely.
So unique.
Yeah, it was a steep learning curve, wasn't it?
I still remember the pitch meeting, and in there, like obviously we were talking about the product and how we'd bring it to life. And he was like, "Okay, this is a planogram. This is where I see you." And we're like, "So are we launching?" Or and then walking out thinking, "Did that just happen?" Like, so are we producing now for Selfridges, or like?
Okay, so you at this point, are you selling your own products, or this is the curated products that are going into the food hall that you've now put into retail format? It's not your own products.
No.
Awesome. Okay, so fine. And then those guys must have loved it because you got them to Selfridges.
Well, this is it. I mean, the fact is, like, obviously, before this, we were ordering hundreds of products, right? Like, because that was our subscriber base, and month to month, it would vary. So that was the other things we're learning, saying, wow, this is like such a roller coaster. Come gifting periods, Or like, kids going off to uni, parents would buy them a 3-month subscription. So it'd be delivered to their dorm room. There'd be at least snacking healthy, right? Like parents were happy about that. So seasonality was kind of like really hard for us to control, like how much product we should order, how much like stock's going to go out, and how much overstock we'll have XYZ, right? So kind of like taught us a lot about cash flow and projections and like making sure you have a sustainable and stable business as you're scaling the business. Whereas when we went to our co-manufacturing partners, we kind of said to them saying, okay, we were doing hundreds, but we need thousands, if not tens of thousands of units of the product. So for them, we were 10xing our order and volume with them just by launching into retail.
Okay, cool. So Selfridges happens, you 10x your sales. Then when do your products start hitting the shelves? What happens then? How did that come about?
So I think we got to the end of that initial campaign where we had we had a mini box that was in Selfridges. And when we went through a review with the buyer, he was like, oh, that was really great. It worked. We also felt that actually, some of the products, if they were outside in a retail kind of friendly pack or a pouch and things like that, it would work quite well. So he was like, is there something that you can bring to me that would be something that can just go on shelf? And that's where we started, I guess, our own journey.
That's cool.
We stopped doing the online,
because that's a cool business as it by itself. The seasonality challenges, but it sounds like a really cool business.
But we were quite keen. We learned a lot from sampling in Selfridges, so we were like, actually, let's go away, let's see if we can find a manufacturer, let's create a product, which was a clusters that we felt would work really well in that environment. And again, we sort of went to him with that and he launched that. So it was kind of the end of the courses at that point and the start of the retail journey. So that's when we launched our clusters, which were basically, the funny thing is they're very similar, like the North Star for Superfoodio has always been clean, natural ingredients, like very simple, get back to the basics of food. So it was just 4 ingredients. We had cashew nuts, cacao nibs, coconut sugar, and a bit of sea salt. And they were formed into clusters that we were selling in bags. So it's kind of like a granola cluster, but in snacking format.
Nice.
We launched that, got lots of feedback because we were in Selfridges. We were getting lots of eyeballs from other retailers, lots of independents and things like that. So that's where I guess the journey for us doing our own retail products started.
That's awesome. Okay, so where did you go? Did you try and expand further and get into more retail? Like, I'm in Selfridges now, let's try and get into retail, or go website? What was your path?
I guess from being in the food hall, there's a lot of eyeballs, right? And people who walk through there are walking through there because they want to be inspired. They want to see what the latest and greatest products are. So what happened? We started getting a lot of what we now know as a food service client, because it was a lot of like boutique hotels started reaching out to us and saying, well, we want to stock your product in our mini bars because we haven't seen anything like this. So we kind of like hop, skipped and jumped into food service. Then we had big volume orders from people who were in the Middle East who used our clusters to stuff into dates. So it's like, a sweet date with a nut cluster stuffed in there and enjoyed as a snack. So we were servicing them. We had poke shops approach us to have our savory clusters as a sprinkled on top. Like we had a sriracha cluster which went really well on top of poke bowls. So we're servicing them. It was really like a fascinating journey where we were just saying yes when an opportunity came our way. We said yes, and then we learned and adapted.
You guys are the masters that I
kind of keep moving forward. Because it allowed us to do what we love to do. So the mission of Superfoodio is just to make health more and more accessible. And that's sort of what it allowed us to do. So we always said yes.
I love that.
Yeah.
And it's around that time that we met. Is that right? Is that where we met, around that time? In the classes?
Around, that's when COVID and lockdown hit. So really unfortunate period of time. One thing that happened is pretty much we lost 98% of our business overnight.
Wow. And are you still doing the 9 to 5?
At that time, yes.
Yeah.
But it was sort of like winding down from doing 5 to 4 to 3 to 2 days a week to the point where we're like, okay. And then COVID hit. So it was a bit of a reality check.
That's massive.
And at that time, we were just kind of saying, okay, this is what we realized and lessons learned. Like we always try and reflect back, saying, what are we learning?
Yeah.
What's the market saying? What's the opportunity? And one thing that kind of kept coming back to us is, okay, food service has gone because there was no cafes or restaurants open. There was no hotels, and retails were pretty much shut as well. There was no retailers looking for new products, let alone keeping what they needed in stock. So that's when we sort of realized that actually we should pivot online. Amazon was a platform which, we knew existed, but hadn't kind of dabbled in it. And that's sort of where our connection happened. It was early days for you guys, and we were brand new to that world. But I think what I really loved about you guys is you're so easy to speak to and relate to, and kind of you helped us as friends more than clients. And I know you treat everyone the same way. So I'd like to think we're special. And I know we are. But,
absolutely.
It's like you are an extension of our team. And we felt that from day one.
That's awesome.
That was what was beautiful.
You decided to move away from the clusters. And what made you think, let's go buttons, let's go peanut?
We're a peanut butter loving family. So, this was during COVID. It was during lockdown. We were taking walks with our daughter, who was 1 then, giving her peanut butter on apples, on bananas, taking the jar, taking the spoon, taking the wipes. And, we loved it. But I guess we got to a point where we were
If you were a toddler, they're like,
exactly. So we were like, there has to be a better way. Like, why is peanut butter just in this jar format, traditionally for breakfast, stuck in the kitchen? And then that's where I guess the idea was born for what became the buttons.
It was sort of like, you want a mess-free, on-the-go convenient snack, because I guess peanut butter is enjoyed. And I think initially we thought we were the only crazy ones, but, eating peanut butter straight, spoonful, but you're standing by your kitchen sink and kind of just like putting your spoon down and saying, I might go for seconds.
We feel like a fatty thing on the couch, like, shovel it in.
Exactly. Or like Ted Lasso, you leave it, the jar open. That's sort of where it kind of, the aha moment.
So it was like a convenient way to consume peanut butter.
Exactly.
Nice.
Exactly.
So we started experimenting in our home kitchen. And then got to a point where we were like, we think we've got something here. Like, let's, get in touch with a manufacturer who can help us take this to the market. So took that first initial recipe and said, look, this is what we're doing. Can you see like how, it would work in a manufacturing site? And, then we need to package it and, need to make sure the portion's right for the end price and all the rest. So we took that, and I think it took 22 months altogether.
Wow. Long journey.
It's pretty much the whole
almost
lockdown.
2 years. Yeah, well done.
We had to literally build machinery from the ground up, because peanut butter is so viscous and sludgy that even the agitators or the paddles that move the mixture so that it kind of goes into the piping and then into the molds, anything that is currently on the market could be freezing, right? Like it would just stop because
that's so interesting. So you've gone from like learning all this different processes behind the food world, essentially, including like manufacturing now, into creating the button. And what I love about these is this is like a universal product. Like it's kind of like, my kids are massive fans. I mean, we've smashed a whole bunch of these packs. So that's fantastic. And then how did you go about getting them into retail? Because obviously you made them available online.
Yes.
And then how did the next jump in the journey occur?
Absolutely. So, everything's like an iteration and building on that momentum. That's where obviously we've been working together since then for the buttons on Amazon and getting them into customers' hands in a quick and easy and efficient way, getting that feedback.
And you're refining the manufacturing process at the same time.
Exactly. So we were learning things and sort of managing that side. And that's where I think one thing we kind of always look back to is like, find your tribe. Find the people you resonate with. Find the people who think like you or who level you up. And that's who we love working with. And that makes the partnership so seamless. And by doing that, it allowed us to focus on working on the business, not working in the business. And that was also like another level up, like a mind shift change for us. And the buttons was just an accelerant for that happening. So we took all the sales and data that we were generating, as you guys know, with the traction we've had of the buttons on Amazon, sort of took that to Whole Foods, who are owned by Amazon, and kind of pitched it to them once lockdown was over and said, look, guys, look at how amazing these are, such a fit for your target demo. What do you guys think? I think we pretty much launched 2 weeks after pitching.
Oh, damn. Wow, well done.
That's so good. That's pretty incredible.
Because you already had the wholesale set up, so they could just kind of work through wholesale and just start ordering.
Exactly.
Okay, so fast forward from the buttons, right? That took you how long to get into a supermarket in terms of listing after Whole Foods?
After Whole Foods, we pitched for an incubator with Co-op. So it was a couple of months to kind of get onto that incubator.
And then into Tesco, how long after that?
It was the year, I think it was later that year, right. We again pitched to Tesco and they were starting an accelerator. So we got onboarded for that accelerator, which was launching the year after.
So that came in a year later after that then?
Yeah.
This week, you're launching the cups.
Yes, so we've got our Better Cups, which is basically a peanut butter cup with a shell, peanut butter shell, and a soft peanut butter center. And again, it's something that we took as an early prototype because we like to sort of share the journey with the buyers. So we took that as an early prototype, pitched it again to Co-op and Tesco. And this week we're launching them into 650 Tesco stores.
Wow.
So
that's what I've done. Nice. That's it.
These are awesome. They are absolutely phenomenal. Highly recommend. We got sample early days.
Early in.
Yeah, but these are amazing. And Tesco this week, that's such an exciting journey. So amazing. And you're just getting better at this. I can see the time lag is reducing. They pretty much just bought them straight off of your samples, right?
Pretty much, yeah. It was, less than a year ago that this was just a kitchen sample.
And now it's in 600 stores. Yeah. One thing I'm keen to do, because there's a whole bunch of stuff we've skipped, and I'm really keen to go through that, especially for people who are looking to launch their own products or kind of get to where you guys are, which is a pretty awesome spot. So we're going to have to do a round 2 second episode. But in the meantime, do you want to just tell the people where they can find you and where they can buy these amazing buttons and the cups?
Give us a follow on social media at Superfoodio on Instagram and TikTok. You can follow behind the scenes of the journey that Nirali and I are building Superfoodio. And in terms of finding our products, the buttons are available already at pretty much every single Tesco in the country and about 1,700 co-ops as well, which is amazing. Wow. And the cups will be launching in 600 Tesco's. The store locator is on our website. And it can point you to the nearest store. And if you're really keen to have them delivered to your door tomorrow, Amazon's a great place to have one too and grab them on Prime.
Fantastic.
Love it, guys. So we'll catch you for a second episode. Much love. Peace.
Peace out. One love.